Hi guys, Squad here, and welcome to my last video of 2015. Oh my life, what a year. I'm sat in my Scania. My lovely Scania. Do you want to have a look at the outside? It is somewhat of a show truck, you might say. Absolutely beautiful. This is the Scania RJL, of course. I have reviewed this mod before. And this is the Squirrel Logistics Christmas Pack. Well, it's actually a Christmas skin that's in the Squirrel Logistics Mega Pack. We released the Squirrel Logistics Mega Pack again, and if you download it, you will find one of the mods is this one, this skin here. A festive skin. The Mega Pack is updated for 1.22 Euro Truck, contains loads of stuff, and if you want to find it, just go into the video description, click on the mod spreadsheet, and you'll find it right at the top under Squirrel Mods. Very easy to find. Right, this video is like what I did last year, really. It's an end-of-year review. It's a look back at the year, the videos that I made, what I got up to, whilst taking a journey. So, first of all, I'm going to start this thing up. I do need to get some fuel on the way. Let's turn that off. So, I will have to remember to do that. But, essentially what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to drive. I'm going to try and read my notes. I've made some notes about what videos I made. Made actually surprisingly large amount of them, to be honest. I know I was aiming to make more this year, but even so, just looking back, there was actually quite a lot of content. And some of it we're going to talk about. It'll probably prompt your memory as well. You think, oh yeah, I remember that video. Of course, a Renault appears. A Mystic Renault just sort of driving past going, hey Squirrel, how you doing, bro? Yeah, you take your elf fuel somewhere else, sir. Okay, the actual pickup here is just round the corner. We're in Osnabrück, in case you want to know where we are. This is the Frosty mod, by the way. The Frosty mod, if you download the Frosty mod, it will probably crash your game if you use Pro mods. It's kind of weird. There's a conflict, and you have to delete a particular file within the Frosty mod pack to get it to work. It is documented on the internet. There are forum posts about it, but you do have to know what you're doing because you have to rename the mod to a zip file and then go inside, delete a file out, and then rename it back to an STS file. So if you don't know what you're doing, then you need to go and read some instructions, basically. Okay, so here we are, but it does work. The Frosty mod does work pro mods if you do that, and it does look rather splendid. Adds a lovely Christmassy feel. Here we go, we're taking 39 tons of Coca-Cola. 39 tons. In a wonderful festive trailer. We're going from Osnabrück all the way over the ferry, going to Chelmsford, which is, of course, where I live. I thought it would be rather fitting. And also, when we get there, just in case you've not seen it, we've got a little Easter egg to show you. You probably know what I'm talking about, but there'll be some of you who probably have never seen it before, so I'm going to show you something when we're down there. Okay, I've got the braking sensitivity quite high, and the reason is because this trailer is 39 tons, and now it's equipped. You know, there will be some substantial weight behind us, and we will need that braking sensitivity to be up. If I turn it down, then I'll find myself putting my foot on the brakes, and nothing as much is going to happen. Okay, let's get some day running lights on here. There you go. There's the day running lights, and then there's the actual side lights and main lights. So we'll just cut the side lights on. I think it looks quite nice in the day with all the day running stuff going on. Kind of like it. I like this truck, actually. I like the Scania RGL. It's a lovely mod. There you go. You can feel the weight. Feel that. Whoa! So much weight. Feels like me after eating all my Christmas mince pies and my turkey. I think the best mince pie I found this year was probably from Greg's, although I have bought some Marks & Spencer one. I've not actually tried it yet, so I haven't made my final decision about the best mince pie of 2015. Anyway, let's kick off with a review of the videos, shall we? So, back in 2015, you remember January 2015, right? All those many, many moons ago. First video on my list in January, funnily enough, appeared to be an episode of The Forest. Now, The Forest was on Alpha 0.11 at this point. And I was still playing The Forest, although at that point I was getting a little bit fed up with it, because every time they released an update to The Forest, it would break all of my save games, which made it incredibly difficult to do any kind of a series on it. Because every time there was a release, which was usually every 2 weeks, boom, it would just break my save game and I couldn't go, and here we are on day 3. No, we're back on day 1. So I kind of gave up on it, although the forest has allegedly changed quite a lot since I've played it. It's a lot harder to do, there's a lot more going on, and people have asked me to go back to it. I probably am not going to do that. And there's very good reasons for that. All to do with the way I'm going to focus the channel, which I know I've talked about before. Wow, look at this. But I genuinely am going to focus my channel, and I don't think the forest is going to make the cut. Anyway, the next video I did was an OMSI video. It was a first look of OMSI. Come on, dudes. You can't stay here all day. Move. Some people have got Coca-Cola to bring to people at Christmas, you know. Bit of a traffic jam going on in Osnabrück. Let's get up to the Autobahn. Yeah, so then I did a first look of OMSI, which people have been banging on about for absolutely ages, saying, Squirrel, you really need to go and look at OMSI. And eventually I did, and, well, the rest is history, as they say, but there's quite a few OMSI videos on my channel. That was my first look of OMSI, though, back in January. I also did a first look of Naval Action. Now, Naval Action is a game that's still very much under development. It's a kind of sea game where you're on old naval ships firing cannons and chains at each other and all that kind of good stuff. It is quite interesting, Naval Action, because when you're playing the game, you've got the sea, like the waves of the sea, and they rock the boat up and down, and it makes it very, very challenging to actually hit things. And I've always been a bit of a fan of ballistics-based games. It's one of the reasons why I didn't really... Although I love Battlefield games, like Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2 is one of my favourite games of all time. And Battlefield 3 was something I played an absolute ton of. Battlefield 4 I played and then stopped. And by the time we got to the latest one, the Star Wars Battlefield, or Battlefront as it's called, I'm just not interested. I mean, I know, not to do with the Star Wars theme at all, just because it's pew-pew. I love ballistics games. I love games of skill. If you notice, I play games like, you know, World of Warships and World of Tanks and all those kind of, you know, you're firing things through arced trajectories to try and hit things. Aye, aye. Don't think that's a good idea, pal. And just Battlefront doesn't appeal because it's just point-and-click laser fire. Which I guess is a little bit like Counter-Strike in a way, in that, you know, wherever you click and aim is where where the bullet is going to hit. So it's very reactionary based. It's anyway, it's not my cup of tea, is what I'm trying to say. So, but Naval Action, wow, that was a tangential comment though, wasn't it? Naval Action. How I got to Naval Action to Star Wars Battlefront? Good grief. Moving on. Naval Action is a good game. It's still under development. It's not moving particularly quickly, I don't think. Not as quick as I thought it would move. But it's definitely one to keep an eye on. It can be great fun if you like kind of sea-based warfare anyway. If you like warships, then Naval Action's something to keep your eye on. Then I did a Identity Kickstart interview. So I've interviewed the guys who are developing a game called Identity. Not heard anything on that. I presume they've been busy coding away for the last 12 months. But that's, again, another game to keep your eye on. That's going to be pretty interesting. Where's there one lane here or two? There's one, isn't there? Good grief. It's so hard to see the lane markers. Just like real life, really. And then I did a series of videos called Inside SCS Software. Now, if you remember, Inside SCS Software series was when I went to SCS in Prague back at the end of November, start of December. I then edited the videos down in December and put them out in January. And that got you to see the inside of SCS Software, where they actually make Euro Truck and where they are making American Truck Sim, brackets, that's out on February the 3rd, lol, in case you didn't know. And so yeah, that was really great to see the team that make this game. And I did an interview with Pavel at the end and stuff, and it would be actually interesting for me would be to go back and listen to that interview, because I've forgotten exactly what he said about some things, and it would be kind of fun to go back and listen to what he said and then compare it to what actually happened in the last 12 months. But yeah, that was basically January wrapped up. February came with OMSI Bendy Bus videos and OMSI Aruva videos, and there was also another kind of dev interview I did with a team that was building a game called Street Tuning Evolution. I don't know if you remember that. Street Tuning Evolution unfortunately didn't get backed. It didn't get enough of a kickstart, so it never actually happened. But it was still a particularly interesting looking game. It just never got kickstarted. I don't know whether they went on to do other things or just changed their projects. Not sure. Apart from that, February didn't have a massive amount of videos, and there's a reason for that. February was round about the time when I was effectively resigning from my job, and as you know, I went full-time, and I was resigning from my job in February, and as soon, of course, whenever you resign from a job, things just kick off, like really kick off. Suddenly your employer is like, what do you mean you're going? Like, okay, well, you need to do all these things, you need to finish this off and that off and do this and do that. And so February was extremely tiring and busy and stressful for me, and it meant that my video content production just took a hit. It really did. Why is there a bus here? Get out of here, dude. Come on, move! I need some fuel. Scumbag. Thank you. He didn't even pay. You didn't go in there and pay. If only. If only you had to get out and actually pay. That's just like one of those nice little things, wouldn't it? So February came, and February started off with some train simulator, some South London train simulator, and then I put out a video on March the 8th, which was called Year of the Squirrel, and that was the video where I told you that I was going to go full-time, and I told you the date that I was going to go full-time, which was 2nd of April. You may remember that video. Let me get rid of that. But that was the video that kickstarted my, well, full-time professional career as a YouTuber and broadcaster. Let me get out of here, preferably without hitting anything. And yeah, that was a video that kicked it all off. I then went off to do London Underground Simulator. That was episode number 4. And it was at that point that I stopped making any more Underground Simulator videos. I found them very, very tedious to make. I found the game extremely unforgiving, to the point where it would tell you that the speed limit was 20 or 30 or whatever it was on the track, and then you would drop down to that speed, but then it would quickly drop it down again, and then literally it's such an unforgiving game, it would then go, no, you failed, game over. There's no kind of saving it mid-flight, and the actual scenarios that it gives you to do are quite often anything between 30 minutes to 60 minutes. They're massive. Some of them you get on an underground train and you're just waiting to be transported 3-4 stops on the underground, which to them was probably felt like realism, which it kind of did, except that you can't do anything while you're on the train. There was no interaction. But the reason I stopped playing it was because of the, well, A, it crashed quite a bit. It did actually crash quite a bit, and B, it was incredibly unforgiving if you make one tiny mistake and there was no option to turn it off. So at that point I just thought, I'm done with this. I can't waste my time in this game anymore, and I stopped making London Underground Sim at that point. Train Simulator then came in with some match day. I did a match day video in a Class 158. I did a New York video in the Amtrak Acela Express. That was quite a popular video. Sometimes you put videos out and you're not really sure how well they're going to do. Sometimes you put a lot of work into a video and it doesn't do that well, and you think, oh, meh. And then other times you put a video out and you think, oh, that's not one of my best, is it? And then people love it, and it's kind of crazy. The New York video, to me, was just a normal train simulator video, but I guess because of the setting, because maybe it was an Amtrak Acela Express, whatever it was, people really enjoyed it. And, you know, if I could bottle that would be kind of cool. If I could bottle the secret to making an awesome video and do it on everyone, that would be great, but I haven't quite got there yet. I then did a review on ProMods 1.9. Can you believe it? ProMods 1.9 was back in March, and here we are 9 months later, and ProMods 2.0, which is what I'm running right now, has just come out. But yeah, ProMods 1.9, did a review video of that. That was another popular video. We went into April. April kicked off, of course, I'd gone full-time right there and then. April kicked off with a video how I built my gaming rig. So the computer that I used to record on and game on is, I showed you a video of me building it from all the components. That was actually a very popular video in the end. It's currently on like 250,000 views, so it's definitely a watched video. People do enjoy it. They have gone back and used it as a reference, and a lot of people I think have used if not the same components, very similar components to build a video with, because, you know, I can't just go through it and just show you how to plug things together and connect them up, and then even show you how to do a bit of overclocking at the end. So that was a good video. Scania trip I then announced because Scania had invited me to go over to Södertälje in Sweden for the Young European Truck Driver competition and visit the Scania factory, and I snatched that opportunity with both hands. Oh yes. So I put out a video announcing the Scania trip. What I did absolutely not, I was not prepared for, was when I got there, the amount of fans that had turned up just to say hi was unbelievable. It was quite shocking, but absolutely heartwarming and amazing at the same time. Let me just keep my eye on the road a sec, because this is not that lane. Looks like I need to keep right towards, yeah, that's right, towards Amsterdam. That's fine. I was a bit worried then that I was going to mess that up. So I announced my Scania trip. I then did a Let's Play Car Mechanic Simulator Episode 1. Now, that series started off well, and then I don't know what happened, but towards the end it was getting a little bit kind of weird, and I stopped making them in the end. But when I kicked it off back in April, people were really enjoying it. I couldn't make them quickly enough, so a lot of people ended up playing it themselves, I think, and got much further than me, and then of course stopped watching the video. So that's kind of a cause-effect scenario where I caused people to play the game. They can play it more than me. The effect was they didn't watch the videos. So that's an interesting one. If you're going to start something like that, you probably need to hit it very, very hard and just make the videos quickly. That is one of my lessons learned in 2015. And there are a few lessons I've learned in 2015, and that's one of them. I then went to Södertälje in Sweden, met loads of fans. I watched the Young European Truck Driver comp, and also I went around the Scania, the chassis factory, saw the trucks being made. I recorded it all and stuff. I didn't get to see the engine factory, unfortunately. I didn't have time, but I really would have liked to have done. If I ever go back, then that's what I would like to see. What are these guys doing? Good grief. Get your act together. Dear me. You don't just stop on the middle of an autobahn, dude. Unbelievable. And of course, now I can't get back in that lane. GG. 39 tons for the win. So that was April wrapped up. May then went in with a Eurotruck 1.7 review. 1.7, yeah. That's where we were at back in May. And it had the Scandinavia DLC had just come out as well, so I kind of reviewed both 1.7 and the Scandinavia DLC. The Scandinavia DLC, of course, we kind of saw being built when I was over in Prague. You could see the team working on that stuff. So we'd already been anticipating Scandinavia. The thing is about Scandinavia DLC is it contains an absolute load of assets that ProMods now uses, so if you have ProMods you have to have Scandinavia DLC, even though you might think they're both doing the same thing, but they're not really. Like, ProMods has much more cities, but it uses assets from Scandinavia, and that's why you have to have it. Project Cars, I did a first look video of Project Cars. Interestingly, that video still has an audio copyright claim on it, and the audio copyright claim comes from the fact that I allowed the intro music to play on the game. Yeah, so basically this is how YouTube is. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I showed the intro of Project Cars because I thought it was really cool, so I let it run for like 60 seconds, and because I did that and it had some music playing in the game, I might add, the video is now copyright claimed for audio. So basically they're getting money for it, so I don't get any money for the video, but I've left the video up. But that's just how scumbaggery YouTube works. That's the nature of the game. I'm just going to not play intros anymore, because even though they're cool, that's going to happen and it's pointless. I then did a Mercedes-Benz Actros review. Do I need to be in this lane? Do I need to move off? I think I need to move off. Mercedes-Benz Actros mod review I did back in May. I then did a Kerbal Space Career. I started a new series of a Kerbal Space Career mode, and because I played Kerbal Space like a year or two before, and I thought, you know what, I'll bring it back to the channel. People will probably enjoy it. I'll show them how to, how to get into Kerbal Space, all about orbital mechanics and how to build ships, and we'll do it in career mode, because career mode was finished at that point in Kerbal Space, and I thought that'd be a really cool series. It started off really well, but then of course I pay attention to, like, the view counts and what people watch and don't watch, And after a few episodes, I quickly realised that for whatever reason, Kerbal Space was not going to fit on the channel, so I had to drop it. And there was a lot of people complained about it and said, you know, we love Kerbal Space, but they were unfortunately the minority, so I had to can it. I then did my 2 days at Scania videos, so they were the, I think there's 4 in total, if I remember. Was it 4? Was it 3 or 4? I think it was 4. 2 days at Scania, what all the footage that I'd recorded whilst I was at Scania, including driving Scania trucks, with a GoPro camera, and my wife holding a video camera, and we recorded the whole thing. And it was pretty cool. And I made 4 videos out of it, and they were pretty popular. But it was nice just to document the whole thing, because a lot of people, I don't think Young European Truck Driver Competition at Scania is well documented at all. And like, it really isn't. Most people aren't even aware that it's on half the time. They just don't market it very well at Scania. But anyway, hopefully, you know, the next one, hopefully I'd get an invite to, and hopefully I can put out a video in good time so that people can actually go to it. I love the way the taxiway here is over the top of the road. It's just fantastic. It must be so cool to sit in the aircraft going over a road like that. Anyway, what are we up to? So I did the 2 days at Scania. Whoa, maximum retarder. I then did a Trains a New Era first look video. They released this other train simulator called Trains, which is done by a Australian company, I think it is. I did a first look video of that. That was reasonably popular. I don't think the game itself lived up to expectations that a lot of people had for it. I think they were really hoping it was a new era in train simulation, with, you know, next gen graphics and, you know, everything that Train Simulator 2015, if you like, is not yet, but hopes to be when they move to the Unreal Engine this year, I think. That's the plan. So Trains itself was not something that I continued to do for that reason. We then went into June, and I had car mechanic simulator videos, KSP videos, P3D Discover Great Britain series kicked off with Matt, which will incidentally be coming back probably next week. There was a delay in the latter part of 2015 as we went from P3D version 2 and 2.5 over to version 3. That was quite a big change. But that series will be carrying on, don't worry about that, so that's going to come back soon. I then mod reviewed the Peterbilt 389, the American truck. Project Cars video came out. That was the Rookie Rain one, where I got in a Formula Rookie and went around Ulton Park in the rain. That was hilariously difficult, but fun and entertaining, I think. I then did an OMSI Chicago Downtown review. That was quite popular. Chicago Downtown came out as an official release on Steam. That is actually one of the better releases, the Chicago Downtown. I still enjoy driving around Chicago. It's really fun, really different. It's one of the few kind of, you know, out of Germany, if you like, proper in America, official, well done mods for, well, not mods, DLCs for OMSI, and well worth looking at, and getting a sale if you can. It's well worth a go. July then came. July brought more OMSI videos. I did more Chicago stuff, played quite a bit of that. Hello, what's going on here? Let me guess. Lane merge. No doubt about it. It's got to be a lane merge. Yep, it's a lane merge. I know when you play multiplayer, this is an absolute pinch point, this thing here. And it's the same with the AI. July came, I did ETS Map Heaven video, which was all about how to put together Pro Mods and Rust Map and Brazil Map and all that. I think I left Brazil actually out of it actually. Pro Mods and Rust Map, and I think it was Poland Rebuilding, but you don't need Poland Rebuilding anymore because that's now incorporated into Pro Mods. They merged it in. And I also did a mod review called Small and Mighty, which was the LS1519 truck, which is quite funny to drive. It is small and mighty, it's ridiculous. I did a IL2 Stemovich first look video, which I did a few videos on and then canned it because the views again were indicating that it's not something that people wanted, which is a shame because it actually is a very good simulator of the IL2, like very good simulator, but whatever. Train Sim, Class 47 Somerset Sun videos, Canadian Mountain Pass video. Again, Canadian Mountain Pass was one of those things that turned out to be massively popular. I can only imagine because, well, A, it's Canada, so the scenery's nice, and B, I had just like the world's biggest freight train. It was just ridiculous. Like, it was so big that in the loops inside the mountains, you cut back and pass over your own train. It's just crazy how big you are. That was very popular. I did an interview with ProMod's team. Well, I think it was with Nico, actually, from the ProMod's team. Did an interview with him about ProMods and where it was all going. I did a first look video of Rocket League. Now, Rocket League is a game that I continue to enjoy to this day, but that video, the views, again, are just, nope, we don't want to watch that, nope. So, I've not made any more. I did a first look to show people, but it genuinely has rubbish views. I did a video, Eurotruck 119 came out, and I did a mod management video because they changed the way that you manage mods in 119 completely. So I did a review video of that, showed you how to, you know, migrate and manage your mods and that kind of thing. I did a video of a new game called Pulsar Lost Colony, which was an indie game. Currently, and still under development, just 2 guys building that game. It's a really fun team-based spaceship game. And I did it with Devil Dog. It started off well, people really enjoyed it, but after a few videos, the views just dropped off. People were obviously just not really digging it for whatever reason, which is a shame because it's actually quite an interesting game. Okay, we've arrived here in Rotterdam, so we're going to take the ferry now. Project Cars Ruapuna Park, I did an Audi Quattro video, if you remember. That was really, really tough race, that one. I did a first look of Hunter. Oh man. The Hunter first look video. Geese hunting it was called. Talk about, you know, kicking a wasp's nest. The amount of people who just commented on that video about, oh, you shouldn't be shooting poor innocent creatures. And I'm like, okay. Basically, that video, although it is just a game, there are some people who, I don't know, get offended by you shooting polygons, which represent animals. So, despite the fact we've got a whole load of games out there which are doing far worse things, you know, people just can't get over it because it's animals, I guess. So, whatever. I carried on making a few more videos. I still enjoy the Hunter. I think it's a, you know, really nice game, very enjoyable, but some people don't seem to like it. Have you seen the lighting on the back here? Look at the back of the, can you see it there, lighting up the back of the trailer? And underneath. How cool is that? It looks so good. Let's get these lights fully on. Interesting, when you put the main lights on, the daylight runners go off. Did you see that? It's weird the way the lighting works. Okay, so here we are. We've got the other side of the ferry. And then finally in July, I did P3D 737 Copenhagen to Mallorca. So this was me getting back into commercial airline flying in P3D. And I did this video called Copenhagen to Mallorca. Beautiful scenery, both in Copenhagen and Mallorca. Mallorca is a place that I've been to in real life like a few times, so, you know, Palma Airport is somewhere I've been, and the detail is just stunning. But I have to say, in P3D version 3 now, all that scenery just looks even better. It looks incredibly good. August came, bit more Pulsar, the views dropped, so I started to can it at that point. I did the Audi R18 e-tron Project Cars video around Hockenheim. I think I put that out just before I went to yeah, I did. I put that out just before I went to Gamescom. So I went to Gamescom in Cologne in Germany for, I had a week actually. I spent a few days at Gamescom and I spent some time with the family down in Germany, and we went through Amsterdam and just, you know, just had a nice little road trip in Germany. So that was quite fun. And that was my, in quotes, holiday. I did a train simulator Miami West Palm Beach video, which was quite popular as well. I did a few videos after I got back. I actually put out a video announcing that I was going to Gamescom, but by that point all the tickets had sold out months before. But I was still waiting on my press pass ticket, so I wasn't 100% sure whether I was going to Gamescom or not. So by the time I put the video out, even if you wanted to go, you couldn't get tickets anyway, which is a little bit annoying. But Gamescom, if you've never been, is enormous. It's just unfathomably big and busy and cool in all the quantities, but my life, there are so many people there. Like, more people than you ever see at a games convention, I think. It's just insane. Well, certainly in Europe, anyway, it's the biggest one. Not been to one in the States, so maybe they're just as big, like, you know, PAX, for example. Although I've heard that even PAX is not as dense as Gamescom. But I don't know for sure. I then did Forza 6 video footage when I came back. I did an Anno 2205 overview, which was footage I recorded at Gamescom. I was going to cover this game on my channel later in the year when it came out, but I just decided not to in the end. I then did more Discover Great Britain, and finally wrapped up August with a review video of the Asus Strix GTX 980 Ti, two of them working in SLI. That video took a lot of work. Doing benchmarking is surprisingly time-consuming. Surprisingly time-consuming. To do it well and get the right metrics and readings is very, very hard. And I did that video, but it did take me quite a long time to produce that one. Went into September, I did more Hunter with the Alpine Ibex. I started my Construction Simulator series, which has proved to be pretty popular with dodgy builders and that kind of thing. I went to TwitchCon. I flew over to San Francisco, which was my first time in the States, ever. And it was also my first time on a 747. Went to TwitchCon, spent a few days over there in San Fran, saw the Golden Gate Bridge. What else did I do? I went around Alcatraz on a tour. Went down to San Diego, just, you know, went to Apple's headquarters, just did a load of stuff, and drove a Chevy Camaro convertible, just kind of fun. So I did that, and also just went to TwitchCon. I streamed at TwitchCon and attended a few events, met some people, and it was cool. I then did some more Discover Great Britain. No, I didn't. I did Train Simulator Class 66 DRS Stock Move and Riviera Line, which is like a steam train. ETS2 trips started out again with my Belarus videos, because people were saying, why don't you do the videos like you used to do with you know, like the Baobab trailer or Cardiff to Rostock disaster? Why don't you do those kind of things anymore? And, you know, I just went, well, you know what, let's do that again. So I did the Belarus video, and people kind of liked it, you know, just back on the road talking nonsense, which is probably what I do best. I then went on and did a Bulldozer video. Now, this was a controversial one. The Bulldozer video was all about AdSense and ad block and using ad blocks, and the effect that it has on YouTube in general, and the effect that it has on me as a content creator specifically, just to raise awareness more than anything, and then just say to people, look, I stick a very small 5-second ad on the front. Is that really too much to block, you know? Anyway, I won't go into it, but yeah, that has a lot of comments on it, let's put it that way. It's certainly promoted discussion, let's put it that way. That was September. October came with World of Warships first look video. As you know, I've put out a World of Warships video recently. That's a game that I'm going to play more of. I also stream World of Warships on Twitch, and it's a game that I just enjoy playing. It's kind of fun, and again, because it's ballistics, I really, really enjoy it. I did a first look of Dirt Rally. Dirt Rally is now, I think, finally released on Steam. Back then it was still early access. Or is it still early access? I can't remember, actually. But it's Dirt Rally is a cracking game. As a driving game, it's very enjoyable. I then did This May Contain Nuts Episode 1, which was kind of my kind of Ask Me Anything. It's my interaction video where you can ask questions and I'll answer them. That's when it kicked off back in October. That's going to carry on for the foreseeable future as well. I went to a Rainbow Six preview event at Ubisoft. The views on those videos were shockingly bad. Like, ridiculously bad. Which made me just look at that and go, okay, well, I won't be playing Rainbow Six then. So I didn't. I didn't even play it, stream it, record it, nothing. Which is a shame, because it's actually a very good game. I then did OMSI Berlin X10. Berlin X10 is another official DLC that came out. Again, it's quite a good one, and the videos did pretty well. OMSI always seems to do well on my channel, I've noticed. It's definitely something I'll be continuing with will be OMSI. Of course, Euro Truck and American Truck, they're going to feature quite heavily, but OMSI's definitely going to be up there in 2016 with the regular videos. Train Simulator New Jersey video came out in October. That finished off October. Just making sure I don't get lost here. London A12, that's my my local road, the A12. That's the road that goes down the side, goes down the east side of Chelmsford, which is where I live, which is where we're going to. I then we then went into November. So November I did more X10 videos for Berlin. I then did Just Train's Class 222 Advanced. I don't know if you remember that train or not, but Class 222 Advanced is quite an interesting train to drive, and it's definitely worth a look. It has a lot of features on it. I did a first look video of Fishing Planet. That was the first time. Why is there a car just stuck there in the roundabout? It's typically Essex, this is. What is going on? That happens in real life. What was I saying? Fishing Planet, yeah. First time I've ever done a fishing game on my stream. And Fishing Planet definitely proved to be quite popular. I've not managed to make any videos since, which is a bit of a shame because I really enjoy the game. So, maybe I'll rotate it back in and we'll do some more, or maybe I won't. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. I need to make that decision. Eurotruck mod videos I brought back. I did Changing Seasons, which was a look at things like Frosty mod and Autumn mod and that kind of thing. I did MAN TGX Euro 6. I did the Renault Magnum tuning pack. Yeah, I did a Renault. I drove a Renault and I reviewed it. And the reason I reviewed it was because it's actually a very good mod. Not because it's a Renault, but because it's a very good mod. And if you like Renaults, it's worth looking at. And I just thought, you know what, I should make that video because the mod author's put a lot of work into it, and he deserves to have it recognised. Let's see if we can pull out here. Yep, we got it. So I did that one. Then I did some more TMCM videos. We did more Consim. I did a Train Simulator Class 378 video. I did a CRH-1A high speed and a CRH-2A bullet train in China. I've yet to record the CR3, which I'll do in January. And that is it. I think I made my final Hunter video in November as well, the Elk. That was the final video I did on the Hunter. Like I say, I don't think I'll be making any more on the Hunter, just because it, rubs some people up the wrong way. December, I started off December with a very, very difficult train, actually. It's the Railjet Advanced 1116 Taurus train. Now, you see that train all over, Austria and Switzerland and even Germany. It's a well-known train, but the simulation of it is pretty detailed. So it took me quite a few hours of practice and reading the manual before I became proficient. And even in that video, I still made a mistake with CIFA and PZB. So it is a challenging train. If you like challenges, that's one to go for. I did a P3D Aerosoft Airbus video, Athens to Corfu, in version 3 of P3D. Now that was new to P3D version 3. I was new to the Airbus, so I definitely made some mistakes. But it looks so good. That was my first video where I sort of went, look at this now, look how good this looks. It was incredible. So I'll definitely be doing more P3D videos. That's P3D is one of the mainstays on the channel, one of the bread and butters. Flight simming in general. I may branch out into DCS when I get time, but P3D is going to be here in 2016 for sure. I did a Eurotruck 122 review. That's what we're on right now, 1.22. I did a Eurotruck video of that, just reviewing it, and I did some more TMCN videos. We did an OMSI South London. South London is quite good, although when I played it, it had some bugs and I got trolled really hard. If you've not seen that video, I won't spoil it, but I got massively trolled in that video by the game, so suggest you watch it if you haven't already. Let's do an offside reverse, shall we, just for the giggles. What else did I do? More Consim I did. I did a World of Warships video, which is the Wyoming, which was the last Warships video of 2015. And then, to wrap it up, I did a studio tour, the long-awaited studio tour video, just to show you where I produce all of my content and what it looks like. Finally did that, and that is 2015 videos in a wrap. So let me just focus on this 1 second. It's so hard to see in that mirror. This is the challenge of the offside reverse. Just trying to see where that is, because you don't... It's to do with the resolution of everything. You just can't see the detail that you need to see. I think I need to be over that way a little bit more. Hopefully we can straighten this off into the bay. Okay, that looks good. Parking brake on. Disconnect the trailer. Excellent! Job completed. Excellent. What did we get for that? 20k and 537 XP. Not much, but I'm almost level 50. Which is pretty cool. Alright, now, I want to show you that little Easter egg I've been talking about. Which is, I believe... Let me just check where we are here. It should be just round the corner. So that over there is your garage that you can buy. But if you hang a left here... In fact, you know what? Let's just make it... What time are we on? 3 AM. I'll tell you what, let's just go over here and sleep so I can make it daylight so you can see what I'm going to show you properly, because it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Chelmsford, and quite frankly I would be in bed at this point. So let's just pop round here, have a quick snooze, and it should be sort of 10 o'clock in the morning then. Just drive into here. There we go. Funnily enough, you can turn your engine off and sleep with the door open. It's kind of weird. There we go. The day running lights back on. Oh, beautiful, sunny. At least it's not raining. Actually, it's funny thing about Essex is it's quite a dry county, Essex, which is where Chelmsford is, in case you didn't know. It's actually quite a dry county. It's to do with the topography. Essentially, we're kind of on the east side after London, like sort of 2 o'clock away from London, and the prevailing wind comes from the Atlantic, which is southwest, so it kind of blows in, hits Cornwall, hits Devon, rains, and then by the time it's hit London, it's kind of mostly precipitated, and by the time it gets over to Essex, it's pretty much done, which means you don't get much rain in Essex, only when it comes in from the North Sea, which doesn't happen that often. Anyway, so if you drive around the corner here, you're in for a little surprise, as I'll show you. Just drive up this road. And just along here, if you stop here... Hello! Do you recognise this house? Well, let me start off by saying it looks nothing like my house, but... yeah, look at that. Squirrel's Nut House. And there is me, in my cap. I have to say, though, I wish I was actually that slim in real life. But I've got the squirrel cap on, as you can see, which is what I wear when I'm streaming Sunday Night Trucking. But more importantly, they managed to get... Look at the signs. Welcome to the Nut House. All visitors must be approved by the dog, and recording in progress, go away. They are actually signs on my door in my studio. If you watch my studio tour, you will see those exact signs. And the ProMods team who built this, that's what they did. They basically must have watched the video and then gone in there and stolen the images and put them on the front of the garage door. Which, you know, to be fair, my studio is a converted garage. So that's just hilarious. Fantastic. GG, well done, ProMods team. And thank you so much for doing that, guys. But I don't live opposite a park like this. It'd be kind of nice if I did. But it's still a wonderful gesture. To have my house in ProMods is absolutely wonderful. So just to wrap things up here, guys, because we're done on the journey. We've reviewed the videos. We've gone through everything in 2015. As you know, I went full-time in 2015. It's been an interesting year. It's been a year of... I've learned a lot in 2015 about myself, about my community and my channel, and the kinds of videos I want to make, the kinds of streams that I want to do, and how I want to continue being a full-time broadcaster, essentially. 2016 is going to be my second year of being full-time. Officially, my second year will start on the 2nd of April, but during 2016, it will be my second year. I have made mistakes in 2015, there's no doubt about that. I still haven't managed to get round to my daily videos. Whether that will ever happen, I don't know. I still aim for quality rather than quantity, so I still put a lot of effort into all of my videos. But I think I've learnt quite a lot. I hope I can get things right in 2016, better than I did this year. Like I say, there has been a learning curve. I hope you all have a wonderful 2016. I hope everybody that's listening and watching has a fantastic 2016. I wish you all a fantastic Merry New Year or Happy New Year, whatever you want to say. And until the next video, guys, take care. And happy trucking.